Mateo had always loved the quiet hum of a coffee machine and the rich aroma of freshly ground beans. He dreamed of a place where people could slow down, connect, and enjoy a perfect cup. After years of saving, he finally opened the Whispering Mug, a cozy little coffee shop on a quiet street, filled with antique furniture and a warm, inviting glow. The first few days were slow. Mateo polished the counter, arranged pastries, and waited. He felt a familiar pang of loneliness, a shadow that had followed him for years. He yearned for the shop to be filled with laughter and conversation, but for now it was just him and the gentle gurgle of the espresso machine. One misty morning, as Mateo brewed the first pot, he noticed something peculiar. A teacup on a distant table seemed to lift slightly, then settle back down. He blinked, rubbed his eyes, and decided it was just his imagination, a trick of the light. The next day, a newspaper on a chair rustled, as if an invisible hand had turned a page. Mateo froze, his heart thumping. He slowly approached the chair, but there was nothing there. A shiver ran down his spine, but it wasn't fear, it was more like curiosity. On the third morning, a soft, ethereal glow appeared near the counter. It swirled gently, forming the faint outline of an older woman with kind eyes and a gentle smile. She wore a dress that seemed to shimmer with moonlight. Mateo, surprisingly, wasn't scared. He simply stared, mesmerized. "Good morning," a soft voice whispered, seeming to come from everywhere and nowhere at once. Mateo, still holding a coffee filter, managed a shaky "good morning to you too." The woman's form solidified slightly. "My name is Alara," she said, her voice like the rustle of autumn leaves. "And this, Mateo, is quite a lovely place." Before Mateo could fully process what was happening, another form began to appear. This one was a younger man, mischievous and playful, with a hint of a grin. He seemed to shimmer with a faint blue light. "And I'm Reese," a cheerful, airy voice announced. "Ilara and I have been waiting for someone like you." Mateo learned that Ilara and Reese were the resident ghosts of the old building, happy spirits who had loved the space in life and continued to linger in death. They missed the hustle and bustle of a lively place, and Mateo's coffee shop was a dream come true for them. Soon, more ethereal figures began to appear. There was Silas, an older gentleman with a distinguished air, who loved to read the newspapers and sigh contentedly. He would often adjust a crooked picture frame or subtly nudge a dropped napkin towards Mateo. The ghosts were Mateo's first and most loyal customers. They couldn't drink the coffee, of course, but they loved the aroma, the warmth, and the feeling of being part of something again. Mateo would brew extra pots just for them, knowing they appreciated the gesture. The whispering mug became a place of gentle, unseen activity. Sometimes a chair would creak as if someone sat down, or a faint melody would drift from the back of the shop. Mateo learned to interpret these subtle signs, knowing his ghostly patrons were enjoying their invisible coffee and company. Word slowly spread about the unique atmosphere of the whispering mug. People felt a sense of calm and comfort there, an inexplicable warmth. They didn't know about the ghosts, but they felt their benevolent presence. The shop began to fill with living customers, drawn by the good vibes. Ilara, with her gentle wisdom, would sometimes subtly guide Mateo. If a customer looked particularly sad, a faint, comforting warmth would emanate from a nearby chair. If someone seemed lost, a forgotten book on a shelf might gently slide into view, offering a silent suggestion. Reese, ever the playful one, would sometimes cause a small, harmless mischief. A spoon might clink against a mug, or a sugar packet might mysteriously appear right when a customer needed it. These little surprises delighted the customers, who often chuckled and attributed it to the magic of the shop. Silas, the quiet observer, would ensure everything was in its proper place. If a menu was out of order, it would mysteriously straighten itself. If a plant looked droopy, a faint, cool breeze would refresh it. He was the unseen guardian of the shop's order and tranquility. Mateo's loneliness faded, replaced by a profound sense of belonging. He had found his community, a unique blend of the living and the ethereal. He would often find himself chatting aloud to the empty air, sharing his day with Ilara, Reese, and Silas, knowing they were listening. The Whispering Mug became a beloved local spot, famous for its delicious coffee and its inexplicably comforting atmosphere. People came not just for the drinks, but for the feeling of peace and quiet joy that permeated the air. Mateo never told anyone about his ghostly companions. It was their secret, a special bond that made his coffee shop truly unique. He knew they were the silent partners in his success, the unseen hands that helped create such a magical place. As years passed, Mateo grew older, his hair flecked with gray. The whispering mug remained a beacon of warmth and community. And though the world outside changed, the gentle presence of Ilara, Reese, and Silas remained, a constant, comforting hum in the heart of the shop. For Mateo, Coffee with Ghosts wasn't just a business, it was a life filled with purpose, connection, and the quiet joy of knowing that even in the unseen, there was always good company to be found, and always another perfect cup of coffee to share.